Good day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we are racing today on the Fairview Poly Track. Today is the 8th of November. We kick off with race number one, and race number one is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows: number 5, Else Last 3-1, Just So Easy 53 to 10, 4-1, Alluring, Chrissy's Gold 5-1, 11-2, Field Dancer, Imogen 13-2, 16-1, and better the rest. Scratch number 6, Let's Rock. That was a reason scratching because it wasn't scratched when I did my selections. So here my selection goes to number 2, Imogen, racing for Jared Ruck. This horse has run against some decent opposition in Natal, and this it seemed that you won't have a problem on the poly track. The reason why I'm selecting this horse is a horse that runs from the front, and unfortunately drawn 9, so I'm sure the jockey is going to go to the front, and he is quite fast and might be hard to pick back. But at 13-2, and not a definite winner, but just I think it will be nice for Jared Ruck to kick off his new venture in PE with Imogen. My outsider selections is number 6, which is now scratching. My other outsider selection is number 10, Alluring. This is a nice coup de grace filly from Alan Greef, drawn 7. This horse did run on the poly last time out, showing a little bit of improvement on his previous 2 runs, running at 22.2, second fastest to 400, which is reasonably, and it also said it was still slow and got squeezed and still managed to run a decent race. So I think Alluring today is going to run a much forward race. Other selections in this race is number 5, Else Lass, which is a favorite, the Captain L by foot with me, nicely bred. This horse ran on a poly last time out, but was run out of it by Autumn Sky, nearly went from start to finish. And then number 7, Chrissy's Gold, is also a horse that's improving, comes from the Sean Terry stable, and last time out improved also in the same race behind Autumn Sky, ran on from behind 22.3. And yeah, I see this horse has run on well from a few occasions and might be one of the horses that try and run down Imogen, because I am reasonably confident that Imogen will be in the front ranks turning for home. So let's move on to race number 2. Race number 2 is another maiden plate over 1300 meters this time, and let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 11, Emerald Flow 8-10, Demote 11-2, Homer Fidget 8-1, Atkinson Grimshaw 11-1, Amazing Tune 12-1, Jackaway 14-14, Kingsford, Mount Grace 20-1, and Longer the rest. Now here my first selection is the favorite, number 11, coming from Gauteng, where it ran a reasonable races against reasonable opposition. Here you have Bequest. We all know that Bequest is certainly above average horse. And yeah, this horse has run well. I'm not sure this horse has run on a poly in KwaZulu-Natal for 1 second, so surely that shouldn't be a problem. Also drawn nicely from for free. But one thing that do bothers me, this horse looks a bit sometimes a slower way, because if he loses ground at the start, he will battle to win this race, that's for sure, with the short running of the poly track at Turpentine. My outsider selection is number 1, Atkinson Grimshaw. It's a horse coming from Kenilworth, although now running over the 1300 meters. But this horse is very well bred on the dam side, Victorian Secret by Captain L. And last time out went also to the front, but was run out of it by Warrior. And I do feel that this field is not very strong, so maybe Atkinson Grimshaw definitely for your quartets and trifectas. And here's number 3, Homer Fidget, also a horse that we have a small share in. We're just hoping for him to repeat the last run, but it does seem that the poly might not be his best track. But we are hoping, and yeah, we are including him in all bets. Then other outsiders, other elections we want to look at is number 2, De Monte, Grace Chain, but drawn from draw 12. But also always a horse that's always there and there, about 5, 6 lengths behind, and can certainly improve to be in the shake-up. So let's move on to race number 3, which is another maiden plate over 1900 meters. Here we have the betting as follows. Number 2, Flying Thunder, even money, 53 to 10, Sunshine Beach, Chai, 11 to 2, Absolutely Fab, 8 to 1, Prancing Oscar, 8 to 1, Bill Ann, 10 to 1, and Sophia's Jewel, 12 to 1. Well, here in the first leg of this, you're either going to go short or you're going to go wide. That's one of the 2 choices, because if number 2, Flying Thunder, did run well last time out, but before that, that fluffed its lines over the 1900 meters. But coming from when they were still running in Natal, now running in PE, did run well last time out behind Clover Club. But yeah, I do think the horse can win the race, but certainly I won't be running to take the even money, because there are horses that can beat this horse. Let's have a look at a few of them. There we have number 6, Sophia's Jewel, from the same stable and the same ownership. And I think this horse ran a much improved race behind leader of the pack last time out. And before that, finished on the 1300 meters poly, 23.9, which is not bad, but it's slow drop crop. And I'm thinking number 6, Suvia Jola, Futura Fili by Elidor May. I think certainly in with a chance in this race. Then other horses that you can have a look at is number 4, Chai. Chai is also a horse that's going to, one of these days, has been running well on the poly, has run a few places, 2 seconds, a third, and 2 fourths. So certainly not a problem with the poly. And, he will get his chance, or she will get her chance one of these days. Sunshine Beach, also a horse that has run a few places on the poly, 3 seconds and a fourth. So also a horse that I think has got a huge chance in this race. So therefore, mine, Flying Thunder, in my opinion, not a banker. I will not bank it as horse in my pick 6, but I'm sure there are people who's going to take the chance. Even Billy Ann does manage to run a few places, but already a long time maiden. But he's picking up the stakes, has won over 100,000 right now. So who's complaining? So let's move on to race number 4. Race number 4, we got a Pinnacle Stakes for fillies and mares, 1900 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Green Dragon, 18 to 10. O Salomeo, 3 to 1. Caleandre, 4 to 1. 5, 9 to 2 was Orange. Cruise Along, 12 to 1. Onesie, 12 to 1. Magic Mike, 14. And Seeking Wisdom, 16 to 1. Yeah, normally in a Pinnacle Stake, you got this 1 or 2 horses that stand out, but in this Pinnacle Stake, all these horses are very close to each other, and I think a number of them, if you can see here, the best weighted column 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Any one of those 5 can certainly win this race. And then you have number 8, which is Solomia, which is not in the best weighted handicap column, but is the favorite. Has 1 year last time out over the 2,000 meters, but beating Green Dragon, and then Green Dragon came out and won a race after that. So certainly does bring number 8, Salomeo, in the picture. So here in race, my selection is number 2, which is Miss Orange. This horse has been running well. Last time I'd run well against Barberton Silver, finished second behind Wallace Simpson, but certainly not like a standout bet. As number 1, Caleandre also have a say, has got a say. My outsider selection is races number 3, Seeking Wisdom. You'll see that Seeking Wisdom was beaten by Caleandre before, but now there's a significant turnaround in weights, and it certainly brings him in the picture, because there the weight turnaround was 52, 7.5. It's something like 10 kilograms weight turnaround. So Seeking Wisdom surely is going to run closer to number 1. So definitely I will not leave number 3, Seeking Wisdom, out of my pick 6. So then we move on to race number 5. which is merit rated 88 divided handicap class C, average merit rated 80. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 8, Sailing Lizard, another visitor from Kenilworth Andre Nell stable, has quite a number of horses, 22 to 10, Filos 33 to 10, Nippy Sweetie 33 to 10, Norfolk Pine 11 to 2, Meerkat 9 to 1, Let's Blaze 10 to 1, and 12 to 1 along the rest. So here in race 5, my first selection is number 1, Filos. Filos is a horse that's now running here in C Division 80, but has run against the best in Port Elizabeth. Here running in a 97 behind Marmara C, the Highwayman, Jagger Moon is one of the upcoming stars in PE, and has run against much higher division than it's meeting here. And I think Philos today a very huge runner. In my outsider section, number 2, Norfolk Pine, which has also been running against higher opposition and running here today. Even number 1 are closely, they keep on beating each other. Then my other outsider selection is number 5, which is Meerkat, now with the Jean Nel stable. It's an ex-Gauteng horse, and I'm looking for an improvement. So do include in all your quartets and trifecta combinations. And here we have number 8, Sailing Lizard, at 52.5, also certainly in with a chance. Has run at Fairview before, but didn't show much. Yeah, this horse is running in some decent opposition. Here you've got Rascallion, Dubai Lights, but nothing that would suggest that he would be a standout bet. Although early in his career he ran close to Twist of Fate, but hasn't since then repeated that run. And since then his merit rate came down from 82 to a 73. But number 8, Sailing Lizard, certainly not without its chance. Then we move to race number 6, which is a merit at 71, divided handicap, class E 61. Now here we have 22 to 10, Frankie 2 Shoes, 5 to 2, all in line, turn up Harvey 33 to 10, Captain's Visa 8 to 1, Nixon 10 to 1, Tom and Jerry 16 to 1, Aces Queen 16 to 1, City Dancer, and longer the rest. So here my first selection is number 3, Nixon. If you have a look at this form of this horse is again run against some decent opposition. Here you've got Dubai Lights. As you just saw before, Dubai Lights has won. The second wave has won. Elusive Tango has won again. So I think this horse has won his maiden year, beating Mark the Hammer by 4.25. And then Random Alpha Pippa Mark 4 is also an upcoming youngster in the Justin Snave stable, who certainly is no donkey. So I think Nixon is here, can run a huge race and race 6. My outsider selections here is number 5, which is Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry also a type of horse, but unfortunately draw 11, but can on his day can definitely improve to win this race. As on the course and distance, 2 runs, 1 win, 1 second. So certainly he does favor the course and distance. Number 5, Tom and Jerry. Yeah, include in your bets. Then our other outsider selection is number 8. Aces Queen also horse that runs on, definitely inclusion for your quartet and trifectas. You never know when this horse is going to play, certainly in with a chance. Then we have these other 2 runners here. Frankie 2 Shoes has been running well after it won his maiden, and is now running in PE and has run a number of places, and certainly I think he's due to find the number 1 box soon, as is the same case of number 2, which is Turn It Up Harvey. Also a horse that came from Cape Town and had 1 or 2 runs here before winning his maiden, and since then didn't run too bad. And now Turn It Up Harvey today running and down in class from the last time, certainly in number 2, Turn It Up Harvey in with a chance. Then we move on to race number 7, where the betting is as follows. Procrastination 28 to 10, Tari Al Girl 3 to 1, Pruivelfield 4-1, J First 9-2, 5-1, Davy 16-1, and longer the rest. Yeah, I think here in this race is going to be a fight between number 1 and number 2. Although procrastination is the preference, that's running also against some decent opposition in Cape Town, and he's definitely running. He's running in a lower class here, running in a 63 after runnings in 74, 75, 84s. So certainly down in class, and certainly in with a huge chance. But number one, as a favorite of mine, I've been preaching this horse every time it won. When it won that day, uh, uh, beating Silver Fortune, I did preach that horse. And then again behind Joyful Noise. Joyful Noise is a very good horse. And then last time out again, I had a bit of money on him. But now today is drawn a little bit wide at 10. And that might be a factor that can count against him, where number 2 is drawn free and has run against some more stronger opposition than number 1. But I do feel that would be the horses to beat. Well, outside the selection that you want to include, maybe in your quotation that affect us, is number 5, Dairy Greek Chain from draw 1. This horse has won his maiden, but hasn't shown much. But I've got a feeling that this Noble Tune might be improving and might be a good selection for a quartet and trifecta selections, as is number 7, Shake Storm, also a horse that's coming from Natal. Has run the odd, nice, good races here and there, and I think also running maybe in a slightly lesser class can be involved in a finish. Shake Storm. Then we want to move to race number 8, which is the last race on the card, which is a Police Mares handicap 66, Class D, average winner rate in 65. And here the betting is as follows. Number 4, Circadium's Delight 28-10, 3-1, Mesmerizing Moon. Forward Mars 8-1, 12-1, Beneficiary Exclusive, Elusive Diva 12. I Love Mambo 12-1. Snow Baby Goes Snow 16 and 16-1, New Bell. Natural Jade 16 and 16-1, longer the rest. Yeah, I think certainly of all the Nell runners, I would think that this number 4 might be the strongest of them. I really like the look of this affiliate service and Get Rich by Goalkeeper Me. When this horse debut, he did debut in a work riders race, but I did say that they are not. I don't give selections, but I did advise my members to have a small punt on those horses because just on the breeding. And the next time she ran in a 77, today she's running in a 65 against Galactic Star and a few other horses. And I can assure you that was a strong field. Galactic Star, I think, having his second or third win already, and drawn nicely at 5. And I'm sure the Virgin Guitars, they do run on a poly, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I think number 4, Coolham's Delight today, in my mind, a very strong bet. It might be worth your while to take the Andre Nel double for the last 2 races. And here we have in my other outside selection, number 7, Forward Mars, Janssen van Vieren inmate, that won its maiden the other day here, beating Sunshine Beach. And certainly I think might have the potential to go in again, but I think number 1 might be too strong for number 7, Forward Mars. My other outsider selection is number 9, which is New Bell. New Bell, let's run some good races here and there in Gauteng. I mean, look, there's Sweet and Spice running in the future. Was going to run in the future over the weekend, but that was since cancelled. Also ran behind Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe won again the other day on his coconut, and then here in his first run ran second to Beneficiary. I think that was quite a useful run, but unfortunately drawing 11, so that might not be in his favour. And outside the selections that you want to look at, other horses that you want to look at is number 1, Mesmerizing Moon. Also a very good filly, Straight, and I think that might be the biggest opposition to number 4, number 1, Mesmerizing Moon, Great Shane and Alec Reef. Always a potent combination. That run behind Stage Dance, but that was in a novice, and Stage Dance was beaten on Friday after I said, they were backing Stage Dance again. But I did say in my preview that Stance Gate was running in a handicap, not in a novice before. But certainly number 1, Mesmerizing Moon, definitely in with a chance. And I would think that might be the finish between numbers 1 and 4. So that brings us to the conclusion of our preview for Fairview. I hope I could point you in the right direction. Certainly looking like a nice card. There might be a surprise here and there. So as I always say, break a leg.